I just finished Shadow X Generations. And let me tell you, that game is fan-fucking-tastic. What more can I say about Shadow X Generations? It exceeded any expectations I had for that game. In fact, I didn't even expect it to be better than what Sonic Generations offered. Playing as both classic and modern Sonic, hitting all your nostalgia chords and then some. And it definitely one-upped Sonic X Generations, despite collectively Sonic and Shadow X Generations being the full experience in one game. Consider Shadow X Generations the lock-on, the modern-day lock-on Sonic and Knuckles. I would have never thought I would have more fun playing as Shadow as opposed to playing as Sonic, and getting to play as two different versions of Sonic. And I still prefer to play as Shadow over both. Folks, that says a lot. That says a lot. From the very first zone I tapped in with Shadow the Hedgehog, it blew my mind. It delivered in a way I was not expecting, and at that point, I knew I might be in for a ride. But I said, hold up. Let me see some more zones. Let me see some more acts. This might just be a one-off thing. No. Zone after zone after zone, act after act, it just kept delivering. And I couldn't believe what I was experiencing playing as Shadow in a storyline that was happening at the same time the events of Sonic Generations was happening, but we are just getting it from Shadow's story during that time. They did an amazing job with providing fast-paced, fluid, never dull, quick action gameplay. And inside of your gameplay run, lacing it with cutscenes, and some cutscenes having the player to engage in executable actions that send Shadow doing cool action stunts inside of that cinematic moment. Now, they had this to some degree in the Sonic versions, but it was not nearly as good or executed as well as in Shadow's story and Shadow's gameplay. It was phenomenal. It was beautiful to watch. I can't believe I'm saying this. I thought Shadow was cooler than Sonic. And who the hell is ever cooler than Sonic? Being cool is Sonic's whole thing. And Shadow one-upped him. I'm sorry. And that says a lot. Because Sonic was really fucking cool in Generations. Both of them. But that's how damn good Shadow was. I cannot believe how good that damn game was. I mean, look at this. Look at this.
You. Meet again, Shadow the Hedgehog. My latest creation. This is your doing.
tell me this isn't badass. I wasn't expecting to be playing a sequence in Doctor Strange. Look at this. And I was curious if they were going to have Shadow engage in 2D or 2.5D acts like they did with classic Sonic, or even to some degree modern Sonic. He had some type of hybrid stages as well. And they did, and they felt absolutely fine as Shadow. And it was our first time getting to play as Shadow in 2D. Well, I haven't played every Sonic game, but I'm pretty sure that's Shadow's introduction to 2D gaming, if I'm not mistaken. Well, if it isn't, it was my first experience with Shadow in 2D gaming. Also, Shadow's teleporting, basically the equivalent to Sonic's homing attack, is a million times better than Sonic's homing attack. And I cannot believe I would say this, but yes, it feels better, it looks better, it feels more powerful, it looks cooler. Way better than Sonic's homing attack. Way better. And I was curious as to how they were going to do Shadow's boost. It was a bit strange at first, because I've never seen Shadow off his feet and just essentially hover or fly across his tippy toes, probably an inch off the ground. It took me about 30 minutes to get used to it, and then I was okay with it. But at first I was like, I'm not sure if I like this. I thought he would just skate a little bit faster, but no, he's off his feet and he's just shooting across the stage. It took me a little bit to get used to, but I was okay with it. Basically the equivalent of how Tail runs fast, minus the Tail's helicoptering in the back. And then Shadow has all these badass power-ups you can use from Doom, and he has his spheres, which play into the game very well, you know, unlocking some mechanisms, things like that, shooting them out very quickly to, you know, release latches and things like that, open doors, gates, whatever. It was all seamless, and all the Doom powers were pretty good. The only one I didn't like was the one where you're like in the purple gooey stuff, and then you gotta be like a symbiote, venom symbiote, and slime your way across and swing from whatever to whatever. I didn't really care for that one, but all the other Doom powers were great. The surfing, the flying, whatever, you name it. At first, I didn't think I was gonna like that, because I'm not a real big fan of like power-ups like that, like the wisps. I hate the wisps, but this was far better than any of the wisps. Far better. And they transitioned seamlessly, so fluid in the game. And they weren't overwhelming. I didn't feel like I was having to use them too much. That's something else I was worried about, but I never felt that way. The boss battles were better than Sonic's boss battles. They really were. Especially the Bio-Lizard one. I really enjoyed the Bio-Lizard boss fight.
I'll show you which am I with true ultimate light. Out of my way. Out of my way. Chaos control! Chaos control. Take this! Yeah.
And if you want to talk about the hub world, instead of it just being a 2D side-scrolling hub world, very linear, you get this whole open 3D hub world with lots of exploration, lots of collectibles, lots of things to do. Practice your parkouring, practice your skills outside of actual zones, things like that. It's a fairly good size. There's a lot of things to get into. There's a lot of things to explore. Now, me personally, I didn't care for it because I went into this game not wanting to do all the extra stuff. I just wanted to play the zones and get through the story and enjoy it. So for me, I could have done without all the extra traveling to try to get to gate, to door, etc., etc. I would rather have just had it like the Sonic generation style where it's 2D, you know, run 5 seconds to the right, run 5 seconds to the left, you're at the zone you want to get to. But for people that do want the exploration, do want the collecting, do want something more immersive, Shadow offers that for you, and it's a million times better than what you got in Sonic Generations. So it was very well done, and it's a great hub world to get lost into and spend time in. But for me, I just wanted something quick and easy, get to my next stage, get to my next zone. That's all I really wanted to do. So it's not a knock against the 3D hub world and the execution. It just wasn't my preference. Me 20 years ago, when I was more entrenched in gaming than I am now, would have definitely preferred getting lost in the 3D hub world of Shadow. The addition of Shadow in this game definitely raises this game notches in the hierarchy of great Sonic games. That's how great it was. Folks, it delivered. It really did. And just as a whole, the story was better than what was offered in Sonic Generations. You got the whole, the Maria thing and the Doom thing. And Mephiles was in it. I mean, it brought everything back. And Shadow interacting with it. And how could I forget? Oh, almost forgot. The extra stage. Tokyo. Straight out of Sonic the Hedgehog 3, the movie. You jump through a ring portal, and you are now playing as movie Shadow in Tokyo. It was really badass, and they even acknowledged it. Shadow acknowledged it. He saw his new body. He's like, it seems like I've taken on a different form. I was like, that's dope. That's dope. And it looked good. It looked good. And it felt good.
I feel as if I've left my own dimension. Suspicious. I should follow. Looks like I've kept my disappointing abilities. This is the ultimate power. There. Looks like how Maria described the Earth.
Like I said, just a casual take. Just wanted to talk about it real quick, get it off my chest. I'd never played Shadow the Hedgehog, so I'm sure there was a lot of Easter eggs and things probably referencing that you know I didn't catch on to. Anyway, casual take. Sound off in the comment section. That's all I gotta say about it. That's a wrap for today's episode. I appreciate each and every one of you for stepping in, showing your love, showing your support, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Now, I could sit here and smack you all around with the generic like, comment, subscribe BS, but nobody gives a damn about that. So do whatever the hell you want to do, because you're going to do it anyway. Now, I'm going to give you to the count of 10 to get your ugly, yellow, no good keister off my property before I pump your guts full of lead. I am Boo, and I am out.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.